34 years stolen. Here is how a court finally cleared Robert Melock. He was a young man when a 1989 murder investigation in Illinois turned his life upside down. Detectives questioned him for hours, told him a polygraph said he failed, and pushed for a confession. The defense said that confession was false. A jury convicted him anyway. Years later, a key ruling changed the frame. The state's highest court said jurors must hear about the deception used in the interrogation so they can judge reliability. It sent the case back for a new trial. At retrial in 1993, Melock was convicted again. He was sent away for decades. Birthdays, family events, and ordinary days faded into prison routine while appeals stalled. For most people, the story would have ended there. But a conviction integrity unit eventually re-examined the case. They dug through old transcripts, interrogation notes, and forensic claims that never matched the certainty of the confession. They re-interviewed witnesses and rechecked the record against modern standards for evaluating confessions. The pattern was hard to miss: heavy reliance on a statement obtained after deceptive tactics, and little else that proved guilt beyond it. In late 2023, prosecutors asked the court to dismiss the charges. A judge agreed. After 34 years behind bars, Robert Melock walked out a free man. The gate closed behind him, and sunlight hit his face for the first time as a free person in decades. Freedom is not the same as formal innocence. That next step matters for clearing a name and securing compensation. So the legal team pressed forward to prove actual innocence, not just legal error. They assembled the interrogation record, the timeline, and the absence of independent evidence tying him to the crime. They showed how the false polygraph claim undercut reliability from the start. On a spring day in 2025, the court issued a Certificate of Innocence. That document formally declared that Melock did not commit the crime. It unlocked a path to state compensation and erased the lingering label that had followed him since 1989. Paper clicks, a judge's pen, and 3 words on the order changed the ending. Is innocent. Let's reset the timeline so it sticks. Arrest, 1989. High Court ruling requiring jurors to hear about the deception, 1992. Reconviction at retrial, 1993. Release after charges dismissed, 2023. Certificate of Innocence, 2025. That is 34 years from cell to clear name. What went wrong? Interrogation deception that created a powerful but unreliable statement. Tunnel vision, where evidence gets read to fit the confession instead of testing it. And slow review cycles that let a shaky case sit for decades. These patterns show up across wrongful convictions, especially in cases built on confessions obtained with trickery. What fixes help? Transparency in custodial interrogations with full recordings from start to finish. Clear limits on deceptive tactics, so jurors are not asked to sort truth from planted lies without context. Independent conviction review units with the power and resources to reopen old files. And a culture that welcomes correcting mistakes rather than defending them. For families, exoneration is both a victory and a reminder of what cannot be returned. 34 years means parents age, children grow, and time disappears. A certificate cannot restore those days, but it can restore a name, open doors to work and housing, and begin to rebuild trust. Here is the simple takeaway for the rest of us. When the system is transparent and accountable, the innocent are safer and the public is safer. Good investigations rule people out as carefully as they rule them in. Courts that insist on telling jurors the whole story make verdicts more reliable. And review units that admit mistakes strengthen justice rather than weaken it. If this case moved you, consider supporting policies that prevent it from happening again. Ask for recorded interrogations, strong disclosure rules, and independent review teams in your state. Share this story with someone who thinks wrongful convictions are rare. Show them what it takes to clear a name after decades. For more verified exoneration breakdowns, tap, subscribe, and binge the Wrongful Convictions playlist. Comment "Timeline," and we will pin the visual you just saw. Knowledge beats rumor, and sunlight is a remedy. Thanks for watching.